I wish I was not a good and decent Southern Baptist because, Dylan, I could have used a whole bottle of Tennessee sipping whiskey after hosting that debate last night.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Jeez,
sure.
Lou. I got to tell it was wild. We hosted for KWAM, which is the radio station I own in Memphis, and we're a massive political news radio station. Everybody wants to come on the show. Everybody wants to talk politics, and so we thought, you know what? Let's hold a debate between the 4 Republican congressional candidates that are running in this big 9th congressional district race. And I don't know, Dylan, I thought, you know what a lovely night. We had snacks. You know, the lovely Miss Cheryl, our advertising goddess, she went out and she got the highfalutin. It was like Fresh Market. Those are highfalutin snacks.
It was very tasty, yes.
And had like all sorts of delicious beverages. We had the Coca-Cola, we had the Diet Coke, we even had Dr. Pepper. And bottled water too. I mean, we went above and beyond last night. And I thought, who would have thought, just what a lovely evening with 4 Republicans, all like-minded, just, I don't know, sharing recipes or whatnot. Yeah, that did not happen. All hell broke loose in this debate. It was the craziest thing. Dylan, you were across the glass. I was stuck here in the middle of all of it, and it was insane.
Yeah, that room was a little tight,
So
all the people in there. It gets heated.
It does get heated in more ways than one. But there were all sorts of accusations flying last night. And what made it really interesting is that just like an hour before the debate, President Trump made the announcement that he was endorsing State Senator Brent Taylor to be his pick for the 9th congressional race. This is the one that used to be occupied by Steve Cohen, the guy who ate the bucket of chicken up on Capitol Hill. So they've been redistricted, and this is going to be a pickup for the Republicans in Congress. So this is a very important seat for the Republicans in Tennessee. And Senator Taylor is the odds-on favorite to win in a head-to-head against Justin Pearson, who is this AOC wannabe. Here's how crazy it is in Memphis. The squad, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, and Summer Lee, are all coming to Memphis to campaign for the Democrat, who is a radical progressive. That's how crazy this is. So anyway, I'm curious, Dylan, what your takeaway, because it was nasty. I mean, there was one candidate who refused to shake hands.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait, what?
I did not think that would happen.
Not once, but you're right, but twice. And then yours truly, your lovable curmudgeon of a talk radio host, I was ambushed in my own building.
This is true. Yeah, we all saw that and heard it.
And apparently the guy put it all on video. I don't know if he did or not.
I don't know.
But he was just like, they were demanding that they film everything. And I'm like, this is private property, pal. You can't do that here.
It was crazy.
I'm a member of the media. Great. Let me see your credentials. I don't have them with me. They're in my car. Great. Go get them.
Yeah, you put it to him, Todd.
I couldn't remember. Did I say anything inappropriate? I'll hear about it in church on Sunday.
This is true. Yeah. You'll hear all about it.
I was in a very foul mood. All of this is happening in the lead up to the debate, by the way. And I'm like, oh my God, I felt like I was in a room. I mean, no offense here. I felt like I was in a room full of Democrats. I mean, what is going on here? Oh my word. Trying to be nice and friendly, do something for the community, and it comes back and not only bites you in the behind, but right up the freaking wazoo.
Yeah, not a great start.
Oh,
you don't want to get Todd Starnes riled up before a debate.
Right, exactly. But I was fair and balanced. As a matter of fact, Judge Joe Brown was here. Like the famous Judge Joe Brown was here last night. He said it was the best debate he's seen in at least 10 years.
Well, that's high praise. That's good.
Because here's how all the debates have been going on. And you guys know this. It's all the candidates up on the stage. And then you've got somebody asking pre-prepared questions. All right, candidate number 1, if you were elected to Congress, what would you do? You have 3 minutes. And it's like, just someone shoot me now. We've all been there. But last night, it was just like, we announced that Trump had endorsed one of the candidates called Senator Taylor a rhino. And my first question was, Senator, that guy just called you a rhino. What do you say to that? And it was on like Donkey Kong. Poor Ian was hiding under the table. He didn't know what was. He's a good Presbyterian, for God's sakes.
Those are the best kind of debates. I mean, for me, someone that hasn't seen a lot of debates live, I mean, that was something to see.
I was getting messages from all across like Tennessee. People were literally they were like gripping their radios and their laptops that they were listening online. People were going bonkers over this thing. So then something happened, and I do want to talk about this very briefly because there was an accusation made. We invited people to call in, and a lady called in and wanted to ask a question about the slush funds for the sexual offenders up on Capitol Hill. And we've been pretty outspoken about that on the show. But I want you to listen to this because this has made national news now, and this is why I wanted to start off with this little conversation. This bit of it has made national news. And just to illustrate how nasty last night was and the dirty politics is being played among Republicans, let's take a listen to this caller named Marie. Marie, you're on the air. What's your question?
Hi, this is a issue that is very near and dear to me, and the reason why I ask it, so I'll ask the question first, and then I'll give some background, is the slush funds for Congress when someone sexually harasses someone. I have a good friend who has been a victim of sexual assault by the senator on a conference in Oklahoma, and so how do we have confidence in someone that we're sending to Congress that has been on a legislative conference paid for, by taxpayer dollars and has sexually harassed or assaulted a woman before? And so are our taxpayer dollars going to fund a man who has already taken advantage of a woman?
Well, Marie, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about here.
I'm not at liberty to say the person's name, the victim's name, or anything.
Okay.
I think we need to protect the victim.
Well, just let me say this, Marie. All right. Marie, I think I got the gist of your question here. And this is something we've talked a lot about. Guys, thank you. We've talked a lot about this on the national radio show. That Congress, which they have certainly done away with that slush fund for all the victims of these alleged sex crimes and whatever was going on up on Capitol Hill. But the issue is, should we be holding these people accountable? Should the lawmakers, should those names of those who committed those offenses be made public?
Yeah, there should be no exemptions for a United States congressman or anybody else for that matter. If you commit a crime, a heinous crime that's sexually oriented, especially rape or sexual assault, you should be charged, prosecuted, and convicted to the fullest extent of the law. There should be no exceptions.
Everybody agree with that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the slush fund needs to go away. And I don't know who she was referring to here, but does there need to be some discussion about that? Or
I think it was in general terms. I have no earthly idea. But
I agree. And matter of fact, it shouldn't even be whether or not a crime has been committed. If it was just a sexual harassment where there was actually a civil settlement, that should not be done with tax dollars either. And if it is, it certainly should be made available to the public.
if there's been a sexual harassment, should that person have to step down, Senator?
If there's been a sexual harassment or a sexual assault, absolutely. And they certainly should not be receiving any taxpayer funds to pay or settle a lawsuit.
There are expulsion criteria in the House and the Senate, and it appears that we have nobody with the backbone to stand in the gap and hold people accountable.
That may be an understatement.
That will change if I go to Congress. I'm just letting you know.
To hear. All right, so that was the snippet, and now, of course, it's major national news, and here's the reason why. And I'm just going to tell you, we got a big problem with politics in this country, but what you just heard there, folks, it's been in the national news. It's called explosive diarrhea. That's what that is all about. It is nothing more than political fecal matter, and I want to explain what I'm talking about. So the headline in Mediaite, which is one of the national publications now, everybody's picking up on this. They're alleging that Senator Taylor was the person this woman was talking about. First of all, she did not mention the senator's name. She did not allege anything against the senator. And if she wanted to do that, this individual needed to go through the proper authorities and not a talk radio program, and certainly not a debate. So my position on this has been very clear. If you have been the victim of a crime, you should report that to authorities. That's pretty much how I believe, and that has not changed one iota. But we did a little bit of background on this caller, and of course, all of this unfolded. It was just a weird call. It was unusual. We did take several calls from folks who wanted to question the candidates, and I didn't think much of it. This morning, though, it's exploded and gone national. Someone actually reached out and leaked all of this. It really wasn't a leak because it was all public, but sent it to the politicos in Washington, D.C. So it appears to me that this is nothing more than an ugly setup. And the headline they're wanting is a Trump-endorsed candidate accused of blah, blah, blah. Well, Senator Taylor hasn't been accused of anything. I mean, he is a good and decent man, been married many, many years, has a wife, 2 kids. Now, the person who called in, we have been able to determine that this individual has direct ties to one of the other candidates in the race that was in this room, in this studio last night. And that, to me, smells of a setup and dirty politics. And I'm sorry, but if you're playing that kind of politics, you're nothing more than a sorry bastard. Shame on you. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You're going to go out there and you're going to try to smear a man's name like that? That's BS. Dylan, you better get your finger on that button because we may have to delete a couple of things here. That's a load of crap, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute load of crap. And this is the problem with our politics. You know, they pulled this stuff with Donald J. Trump. And I didn't like it then. I don't like it when they go out and try to do it on the local or the state level either. It's disgusting. And by the way, if you are going to make an accusation like that, why don't you be a man? Why don't you be a man? I mean, you're sitting in the same room. Say what you're going to say. Let the other man defend himself, for crying out loud. I mean, that's what a man would do. Unbelievable. So, look, it's national news, and it is what it is. The fact of the matter is, and we did reach out to the senator, and I believe he's going to be on the show a little bit later on, and we'll ask him directly about this. But he said that he has never been to a legislative conference in Oklahoma paid for by taxpayers. He's been to 2 conferences as a senator, and his wife went with him both times. So, again, it's if you're going to call in and do something like that, you at least need to come armed with your facts. Say, hey, we filed a police report. Here is the incident report. Here's all of the documentation. But this stinks to dirty politics. And let me just say something, Republicans. This kind of crap is going to cost you elections. So you guys need to knock it off. Unbelievable. But shame on people who play dirty politics. And I get it. You know, look, we're all grown-ups here, and I know politics is not church. But this is evil sleaze. That's what this is. Evil sleaze. Explosive diarrhea of the worst kind. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show. All right, welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Happy to have you with us. No, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest, ladies and gentlemen, because, look, I know politics is ugly, but what's been going on in the Republican Party since really 2016, we have got to get a handle on this. And the idea that we're going to just try and destroy people, they did that with Brett Kavanaugh. It's unbelievable. And now the Democrats did that to Brett Kavanaugh. And now you're telling me the Republicans are doing that to each other? That's just outrageous. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So we have got a lot of ground to cover. President Trump, and this is going to happen Thursday night, addressing the nation. And the president, we're getting drips and drabs here, but there is some inclination that the president is going to talk about direct evidence that they now have that the 2020 election was fixed. Apparently, they have somehow got the evidence. And the president purportedly is going to be sharing all of that information Thursday during this primetime address to the nation. The other involves the state of Georgia, where the rumblings are the president has proof that the 2 Senate races there in Georgia were fixed, that the fix was in, that those are illegitimate elections. Now, the question is, what can the president do, if anything, about that? Okay, fine, we've got the evidence here. So what is the recourse? Now, keep in mind, one of those, quite frankly, and both races were very close. If I think you've got Warnock and John Ossoff, and my understanding is both of those races were very, very close. Now, one of them, you had the Trump folks Trump crowd saying, stay home because there's no way to guarantee that your vote's going to count. So a lot of Republicans just stayed home. You can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, President Trump saying that they've got evidence that there was fraud in the 2020 presidential election and those Senate races in the state of Georgia. I know John Ossoff coming out, and I think I've got time to share this before we go to break. Ossoff is really enraged over all of this, and here's what he had to say. We'll try to get this. Accusing the president of being obsessed, Donald Trump's spiral continues. The failed president pocketed billions as he drives up prices, is afraid to lose the midterms. So he will reheat debunked election conspiracy theories and tell bizarre new lies to deny his 2020 defeat and attack voting rights. He also said it would be a disaster for Mike Collins, who will be forced to double down on conspiracies that have not been well accepted in general elections. I'm just going to ask the good people of Georgia, have you guys moved on? It is now 2026, or do you believe that the president needs to get to the bottom of this? I'm just curious. Have you moved on, or do we really need to go back and address all of this? 901-260-5926, our telephone number. This is the Todd Stearns Show. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Let's go to the phone lines. Anna in Georgia, listening to us on WDUN. Hi, Anna. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Todd. As far as voting shenanigans, I really think if they have proved that they should address it. Having said that, this might just be an opportunity for some people to start some trouble in the midterm elections. But I think most people realize that the thing has hit you hard because you're such a principled man, and so was Lindsey Graham. I've never seen an outpouring of love like they have for Senator Graham. But I tell you, it's disturbing with the great Reverend Warnock. And Mr. Ossoff is, he's a good guy. He's a Democrat, but he's a good guy. But I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know why they're stirring the pot like this. But it's going to get it most likely will get the attention of the president. But I don't know what he can do. As a federal, he is a federal employee. So, I'm hoping that we get to the bottom of this, what's going on, because it's going to affect elections in the future. Moving on is probably not a good idea unless it is proven that it was just a mess. It was just somebody trying to start some trouble.
So my point is we are 6 years removed from 2020. And look, I mean, if there's evidence, it's irrefutable evidence, concrete evidence. Let's get it out there and figure out, is there any recourse? I don't think you can go back in the time machine and undo all of the votes these two men have cast. I would say that Raphael Warnock, based on everything I've heard from that man, is not a good man. He is, quite frankly, a very dangerous man. But again, we have got to see the evidence. And at some point, just like all of these hearings back in 2015 and 16 and 17, 18 with the Republicans, and they were promising that we were going to have mass arrest, that Barack Hussein Obama, the entire administration, was responsible for Russia, and all of that. Nobody's gone to jail for any of that. And at some point you have to say, okay, it's time to either poop or get off the pot. Anna, my apologies for being crass there, but I think you get the point.
It's true. They're just trying to start some stuff. But having said that, like you just explained, it's such a mess, and it's so disturbing. And why are we going back to 2020 when we've had a mess since Biden and Obama, and somebody needs to, and Hillary. They're doing all of these evil things, and they're not paying for them at all. And I'm not a happy person because of this. I don't, as far as politics is concerned, I don't trust a whole lot of people, either in the Republican or definitely the Democrat Party. But it's very sad, and these people should have paid restitution for the terrible things they did, but they haven't, and they continue. And that's the problem. It's continuing, and this has got to stop.
Anna, thank you for that call, and thank you for listening to WDUN. There is a process in place in the Senate. So if, in fact, there was fraud, and this fraud can be proven, it would take a 2/3 majority of the Senate to remove those senators. So if in fact there was fraud and it's proven, it would require 2/3 of the Senate to remove Ossoff and also Warnock. They don't have the numbers. They do not have the numbers, and the Democrats will not do the right thing. So there you go. That's where we're at with that. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So this item, Justin, so yesterday during the show, there was a report out of Maine that a guy, an illegal, was shot and killed by ICE agents just about 15 miles south of Portland, Maine. And the guy had used his vehicle as a weapon, and he tried to run over ICE agents. So they opened fire, and the bullets went right through the front windshield. So there's no denying what this guy was trying to do. Well, now, this is, I believe, there was another shooting in Houston, then you had the two in Minnesota. So now Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Homeland Security, now coming out, and they are saying they are going to suspend these vehicle stops nationwide. This is not unexpected because of Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, and sometimes this guy gets a little wishy-washy. Reuters now reporting that ICE is suspending most vehicle stops, citing two sources on the matter. Maine Senator Susan Collins said she urged the DHS secretary to cease non-urgent stops after the Maine shooting raised critical questions. Well, the critical question to me is, why are illegals using their cars to try to run over ICE agents? That, to me, seems to be the more pressing issue here, ladies and gentlemen. According to Reuters, ICE agents have been instructed to immediately suspend most stops nationwide. ICE declined to comment on the reported tactical change. They said they were always reevaluating their procedures to keep officers safe and criminals off the street. No, what they're doing here is they're concerned about the PR. That's what this is all about. And again, if somebody's illegal, they need to go. You know, we asked this question last night of the candidates here. All right, where do you stand on illegal immigration? Do you believe that all of them ought to go, or do only some of them need to go? And it seems as though Homeland Security is saying, well, you know, at least right now, only some of them need to go. The worst of the worst need to go, but everybody else can stay. That's their position on that. Here's Congressman Ralph Norman out of South Carolina was asked about all of this. Cut number 7, please.
Can I get your reaction to the ICE shooting in Maine today?
I hadn't heard about that.
You hadn't heard about that? There was someone was shot by ICE agents in Maine earlier today?
I have not. No, I hadn't heard that. I don't know the details on it.
As the body count for ICE continues to rise, do you regret voting to fund them without any sort of accountability measures or any riders to make sure that they behave in good faith?
ICE agents are here to protect this country and to get the illegals out. They need to be funded.
But they're shooting people down in their cars on American streets.
The ICE agents are doing a job for the American people. They need to be funded. That's your opinion.
No, it's video
that's your
evidence.
opinion.
Who is this moron? No, not the congressman. The guy asking the question. Who is this moron? What is it? Oh, his name is Pablo. Pablo. Well, Senator, Congressman, they're going around and they're shooting. They're just randomly shooting illegals in their cars. What do you say about that? Well, first of all, it's not your opinion. It's wrong. You are insane. As a matter of fact, we actually have eyewitness video from someone who actually saw what happened in Maine. Let's play that.
I would say 7:15. I was driving through the intersection at Hill Street and Pool Street, and as I was approaching, you could see flashing blue lights. And then as I got closer, they were unmarked, so I assumed they were ICE. And then you could see them with their green vests and stuff, and it said police, ICE. And so as I actually was going through the intersection, I heard yelling. So I know I'm supposed to be paying attention, but I heard yelling off to my... So I looked, and I was watching, and the ICE agent was yelling and drew his weapon, and he kept yelling and warning the person driving, which is when the car was put into drive and was trying to hit the ICE officer. And he fired, I would say, probably 4 shots at him. And then by that time, I was also through, the intersection, so I just heard the popping. But I did see him draw his gun at the windshield. And then so then the car, you could see the car in the back, like rolling down the street afterwards.
All right. Well, there you go. That's it. Let's go to the phones. Rhett in Atlanta. Rhett, what's on your mind?
Well, it just seems like they probably need to train the ICE agents not to get in front of the cars, and if they can shoot the tires or the radiators, that might be better than shooting the people.
So help me understand this. So do you have a law enforcement background by any chance?
No.
Okay, so you don't have a law enforcement background. So let's just say, so you're saying that the ICE agents, they should be trained, instead of shooting at the driver, they should be shooting at what, the radiator or the tires?
Well, first, they shouldn't be getting in front of the cars. And second, they can disable the car first before they have to go shoot the person.
So what would you suggest? Somebody's trying to run you down. By the way, these officers are trying to make legitimate stops here, and somebody points their car at you. You don't believe the officer should have a right to defend himself?
Well, they should act defensively and not get in front of the car.
Well, that's what they're doing by shooting the driver.
Well, it just seems like you should do something else besides shooting the person first. I mean, you can disable the car first.
Well, again, that is not police procedure here in this particular case, and I've heard this argument from the left that the cops should just be shooting out the tires. That will not actually stop the car from running over an ICE agent. And a lot of these cases, and again, we haven't seen the details yet of what transpired and what led to this. But in the previous cases where we have seen video, it's very clear these officers are trying to get somebody out of the car. They're backing the driver's backing up, trying to endanger the lives of these ICE agents. And I'm fairly certain shooting out a radiator is not going to stop the bad guy.
Well, it just seems like there should be something you can do to diffuse the situation before you have to shoot somebody.
Yeah, they're saying get out of the car, and if you don't follow the instructions here, I mean, at what point do you say, you're saying here that the officers are to blame?
No, I'm saying they should be defensive and not get in front of the car.
All right, Rhett, we'll see what our audience has to say about that. I appreciate the call. Rhett from Atlanta says cops need to be trained not to get in front of moving cars, and if in fact they do, they should be shooting out the radiator and the tires. Curious to hear your thoughts on this one, ladies and gentlemen. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I will say this, and we should probably get our gun expert on to explain that the way you see cops shooting out tires on TV in a movie is not the way it actually works in real life. So I'm just saying. Got to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, let's get right to the phones here. We will start with Johnny in Memphis, Tennessee on KWAM. All right, Johnny, what's on your mind?
Todd, I'm surprised that you didn't put me on the favorite of your call list when when you was talking about them people that hate phone calls, because and I'm sort of like a celebrity to your station.
Johnny, I don't know what you're talking about. You were calling in to talk about the ICE patrols. What's on your mind?
I'm getting that. Do you know police procedure?
Well, I do know police procedure, and their procedure is not to disable a car. It's to stop a deadly threat.
And the police procedure is to know who you're going after before you go after them, too. The two people that they shot in Maine and California were not their intentions. Now, when a gunshot goes through your windshield, what position would you be standing in, Todd? Let me ask you. I mean, I know it's a bad time to be a Republican because most of y'all are incompetent anyway. But you should know.
What do you mean we're incompetent? We're winning elections all over the country right now, Johnny. As a matter of fact, Republicans control the House and the Senate and the presidency and the entire state of Tennessee.
You win the 2020 election, and you keep crying about it, and you keep whining about it.
I'm not crying. Am I crying here? Oh, they're only liberal tears is what I see across the nation, Johnny, liberal tears. But I'm going to answer your question. The reason why there were bullet holes in the windshield is because the driver was trying to run over a police officer. And if you don't want to get shot, my recommendation, Johnny, is don't run over a police officer.
And if you don't want to shoot someone, don't stand in front of the car either. Just like the guy said, they were standing in front of the car, and they think that they
told him to get out of the car. When a police officer gives you a lawful order, you must comply, and that person did not comply. Johnny, good try. Give us a holler back. Let's go to Bear in Texas, listening to us on Patriot Talk 920. All right, Bear, what say you?
Hey, Mr. Starnes. So on the stopping the car stops, why would you reward bad behavior? I mean, if they're trying to run over ICE officers, if the consequences are you get shot, after a while, they'll quit doing it. You'll see the consequence, cause and effect. So I'm thinking the ICE officers should continue the stops, because all the illegals, anyone who's here illegally, they need to go. Come back the right way. That's my point.
Look, it's a fair point, and I'm with you. Everybody's got to go. You come back the right way, and what we ought to be focused on are all the people that have been trying to get here the legal way. They're the ones that keep getting shoved further down the line, and nobody wants to talk about those folks.
Well, that's because they're not Democratic voters.
Well, there you go, and that's it. I mean, you're absolutely right. Not only that, you've got to throw in the H-1B, and we'll talk about that at another time. But there are a lot of problems, and it bothers me that that the administration's backing down on this policy. Bear, thank you for that call. Let's try to work in Bob here, also listening to us on Patriot Talk 920. Bob, what's your take?
Todd, I'm down here in Texas. I travel the border occasionally, and there's highways and roads that specifically the Border Patrol and ICE patrol, and they have cars pulled over, and it's the aliens. And if they stop this nationwide, it's just going to make a major influx of more automobiles pouring over the border, and then the invasion is going to continue. I can't believe that the Trump administration has caved in on this. This is a major issue. You also see it in the Houston area, driving around. Occasionally, ICE will have cars pull over, aliens out on the side with in handcuffs. All that's going to stop. I can't believe they caved in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That was Reuters reporting, but also Fox News, Bill Maluzhin over at Fox is reporting the same thing. Bob, thank you for your intel there. Thank you for listening to Patriot Talk 920. We love those folks. Hang tight, everybody. Got to take a quick break. 901-260-5926, our number. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to hour 2 of the big show. Good to have you with us. This hour of the program powered by Dr. Pepper. That's pretty much it. Yeah. No, they're not an official sponsor. They ought to be. But we have the lovely advertising goddess, Miss Cheryl, brought us all some of these miniature Dr. Peppers. So the problem with these cans here, Dylan, is about 2 sips and you're done. That's the problem I've got with these tiny Dr. Peppers.
It is true, but it does keep you honest. It keeps you in shape. Yeah. You know, it's health. It's Dr. Pepper.
Look, it's medicinal.
Yes.
Otherwise, you would not have the D or the R there. I'm just saying. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. A bit of breaking news this hour of the program. We learned earlier that ICE has now been instructed to immediately cease most vehicle stops during immigration enforcement operations, except for operations targeting the most egregious criminal aliens. This comes after 2 people were killed by ICE shootings in Texas and Maine in the last week, and incidents that began as vehicle stops. DHS alleges one of those incidents was a ramming attempt. Fox's Bill Maluzhin reporting that it will be temporary until ICE officers receive new training on vehicle stops. It just seems to me that the greater emphasis here should be on telling the illegals to stop running over our ICE agents. We had a caller in the last hour who was pretty adamant about all of this and said, number one, the officers need to be trained to get out of the way of a vehicle speeding towards them. Number two, the officers should either shoot out the radiator or shoot out the tires, which, Dylan, it's a whole lot harder than they make it look in the movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why? It's common sense to do what an officer would do in that situation, and it is not shoot out a tire.
My understanding is, and well, if somebody's in law enforcement, they can verify this information. It seems to me the whole point is to stop the threat, not slow it down. But that's just me. Let's go to the phones here. 901-260-5926. Willis, driving the roads of Oklahoma on KGYN. Willis, what's on your mind?
I've been listening to you for a few years, and I listened to you this morning, and I just wanted to say 2 words: resisting arrest. Nobody seems to understand that anymore, but I'm 68 years old, and when I was a small boy, I learned that lesson. Anytime a man with a badge on, ICE, sheriff, police, whoever, if they stop you, you need to stop. And that doesn't mean confront them or anything else. It means stop and see what they want. If you got a lawsuit against them later because you got a bad cop or something, that's one thing. But at that point, you stop and listen and do whatever they say. And people are not learning that. And every one of these deals that I hear about is a resisting arrest. Every time I hear it, I tell somebody. That was just, all it was resisting arrest. They're in authority, and you're not giving them authority. So that's what I had to say.
You know, Willis, it just seems to me, and you said you were 68 years old. When we were growing up, at least in the 1970s and 80s, we were taught to respect law enforcement. I am just not seeing any respect for law enforcement from young people, especially these days. And of course, the illegals, you know, they're already breaking the law. But there's just very little respect for authority in this country.
That's true. And, you know, your daughter was 16 years old. I got stopped by a highway patrol, and I was going 7 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I thought the speed limit was different. And then he was telling me this, my daughter got over from the other state, started yelling at him, and I lined her out right on the spot and told her, this man has the authority. Shut up and listen to him. And he didn't give me a ticket. He gave me a warning. But she learned a lesson, too. And it's time these young people, all these people, start respecting the law enforcement of the United States.
All right. Hey, Willis, great call out there. And thank you for listening to us on KGYN, our great affiliate out in Oklahoma. Let's go to Susan in Georgia. Hi, Susan. What's on your mind?
Hey, Todd. I want to just say I agree 100%. These officers need to defend themselves and not by shooting out tires, because if the intention of the driver was to run him over, then obviously he's going to hurt him somehow. If he disables the car, who knows if he doesn't have a gun in the car, too. And he might just roll down his window and shoot and kill the officers. So there you go.
Or God forbid somebody just, an innocent civilian just kind of walks out into the street while all that's going down. I mean, there are so many unknown variables here, Susan.
Absolutely, absolutely. He needs to end it right there. And I'm sorry that the poor man had to lose his life, or that anyone has to. But there's consequences for that behavior, period.
Yeah, absolutely. Susan, thank you for the call. 901-260-5926. Let's go to Patty in North Carolina, WSIC. And Patty, I know your son-in-law is, in fact, he's an ICE employee.
Yes, he is. And he worked at Delaney Hall in Jersey. And he told me things that you wouldn't believe, how they're getting away with everything. We're talking about the protesters, not the ICE agents, not the police. He calls me, because I tell him, don't call me, just call me Pat. He laughs at me. But he said it's crazy what they were doing. It was they were taking, when the police came in with horses. They had to come in with horses to get these idiots out of there. And there's another thing, too. He goes, there were people crawling on the ground dressed as furries.
Good. Like the little critters.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Todd, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. But let me tell you what he said about the horse. He said, "This is what," and I'm an animal lover. And so are you and everybody else. They were taking boards with nails in it, and they were whacking the horse.
The protesters were doing that to the horses?
Yes.
It's just unacceptable. And Patty, again, they've got, you're right. They're getting away with it all every time.
Yep, they're getting away with it all, Todd. And you know what? He said it makes him sick. And then he goes, we get blamed for everything because these people are child rapists. Because the guy that they were trying to stick up for, the guy raped a 4-year-old girl. And they were trying,
Well, Miss Patty, I will say this, and we appreciate you calling in. God bless your son-in-law, and we just have to pray that these guys are protected. They have targets on them every single day that they're out there, and the Democrats and the media are largely responsible for doing that. 901-260-5926, our number. Dylan, an interesting story out of Fox News in Detroit. This is the headline: Gen Z is single-handedly bringing America's shopping malls back to life. Back when I was in high school, that was like the place to go, was like the mall.
That and the movies, right? You guys love doing that stuff.
Malls and movies. Absolutely. And you'd go there, you'd hang out with your friends, you'd go shopping, you'd have a good time. There was none of the chaos. You didn't have mobs of thugs, rampaging, opening fire in Victoria's Secret.
You had happy mobs, happy shoppers.
You did. It was like a whole different world. I remember as a kid, we would go with your great grandmother, my grandmother, and we'd go down to the Southland Mall in Whitehaven, and we'd go shopping. And man, for Sunday dinner, we'd go to the Piccadilly, which was right there and in the mall. And on one end, you had Sears, which is where all the middle class people went, and then you had Goldsmiths, which was the highfalutin department store. That's where all the rich people. That's what we were told when we were kids.
Right.
And then in between, you had Radio Shack and Woolworth. It was a lot of fun back in the day. And then if you go over there now, it's like you've got to have Kevlar. You need security.
True. Weapons,
ammo, bear spray.
Yes.
So it's hard to go shopping because you've got to carry all the accoutrements there.
Yeah. It's a lot to bring.
It's tough. I'm just telling you. So anyway, but Gen Z is now, and again, a large argument was, so here's how it went. We used to do all that, and then in the 90s, the senior citizens started taking over the malls. They would get up early in the morning before the mall actually opened, and they would do their walking inside the malls. And then you had the thugs come in the most recent years, and now a lot of people are just doing all their shopping online. And I am curious about this story because Gen Z shoppers, those are young kids, are actually going back to shopping in person. According to Fox News, the in-person, that Gen Z actually favors in-person shopping experiences over simply filling online carts. Their spending habits are becoming a major focus for retailers and mall operators looking to adapt to changing consumer behavior. This was all reported on Fox Business, how malls are now redesigning spaces and adding new experiences aimed at younger shoppers, from social media-friendly dressing rooms to activities like indoor rock climbing walls. Oh, that's interesting. According to the data firm Nielsen IQ, Gen Z retail spending is expected to surpass $12 trillion globally by 2030. Data found shoppers between 18 and 24 years old made 62% of their general merchandise purchases in physical stores last year, compared to 52% among 25 years and older. So, Dylan, you're in that older category now. Do you shop online or do you like to go in person?
I'm fortunate enough to live next to a Target, which that is where I get all my clothing and everything else that I would possibly need. So, the mall thing, I don't know if it's specific to just malls or like just in-person shopping. But I mean, yeah, I guess I would be falling into that because I do buy my clothes like in person.
I wonder why, though. I wonder what it is about the mall. And, for us, it was all social more than anything else, right?
I think for Gen Z, it's got to be nostalgia, right? Because we did grow up in the time where we did go to malls. Like, we did have that sweet spot in the early 2000s where we were going with our parents in the malls, and it was still great. No mobs yet. So maybe it's just like, everything is brought back now from, it's vintage. The malls are vintage, and it's just brought back.
According to Fox Business, some Gen Z shoppers say the malls offer a social connection that online shopping cannot fully replace.
Well, that's true.
What was the one? There was one store that all you people used to shop at. You could smell it before you could see it.
Oh.
What was that store? It was like a blue jean store.
Like Aeropostale?
No.
Big.
It was like, it began with an A, and you could smell it. And I think they actually put their fragrance in the ventilation system.
Is that the one that had like the models on the outside of the stores that would stand there like shirtless?
But they didn't wear clothes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it.
It's not Aeropostale, it's the other one.
Somebody's going to remember it. Anyway, they're saying, one shopper they talked to at Fox said, we grew up, this is great, we grew up like during the quarantine. You can actually edit out those likes. We grew up during the quarantine. Getting out and hanging out with people was a very big thing we did not appreciate during that time. As we grow older, we see that we need to be doing these things, and it's kind of fun.
This is great news. We're not stuck on the internet forever. We can actually go outside. This is good news for Gen Z.
Maybe this is a change in society as a whole.
I hope so. I mean, we talked about the movie thing earlier. I see a lot of people going back to the movies. Like I do. I always love going to the movies.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's way better now than going to Netflix. I mean, first of all, Netflix is raising their prices. All of them are raising their prices.
So are the crowds I'm just curious. I haven't been in years to the movie. Are the crowds behaved? I mean, everybody's, watching the movie?
For the most part. I mean, the worst thing that I've seen is people just talking full volume during the movies, but like no fighting, no rioting, in at least my theaters.
The last movie theater I went to, the regular theater, everybody had their phones on. And you could see the glow of the phones. And I'm like, really?
That's the worst thing ever. I mean, you paid money to come here. You're just going to be on your phone.
Oh, advertising goddess Cheryl says it was Abercrombie & Fitch.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what it is. You can smell that store from a mile out.
And help me understand this. Kids were actually buying blue jeans that were completely destroyed.
Yeah, ripped blue jeans.
And they charged more for that.
This is true.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Yeah, you're getting less coverage for more money.
I guess they had to pay so much because clearly if you're wearing the Abercrombie jeans, you do not wear a shirt.
Yeah.
So they're losing out on shirt sales.
That's what they advertised.
Okay.
They did sell shirts. I will say they did sell shirts.
This is great news for the shopping malls of America, I have to imagine. Gen Z going back to the mall. There you go. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show. Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. So this morning, I always do every Tuesday. I do an early morning hit with the morning show over at WDUN in Gainesville, Georgia. Our good buddy Bill Main is the host there, and he asked me about this story about Gen Z going back to the mall, and he said if you could bring back any store, any mall store from your childhood, what would it be? What a great question. I'm thinking, and I got to thinking about this, and one of my favorite mall stores was Tower Records, which I miss the old school record stores where you could go in and you had all the music. And Tower Records was like the quintessential record shop. And I remember when I moved to Sacramento, one of the reasons I was excited about moving to Sacramento, Dylan, is that was the headquarters of Tower Records. That was where it all started. And there's a great, I think it was on Netflix, there's a great documentary. And if you love music, you got to watch this documentary. And I watched it, and Dylan, I was about ready to give up the radio show and go and work at Tower Records.
Records are cool. I love record shops. I never got to experience that era. So, I mean, I'm so happy when I'm inside one.
So I am curious, and I bet our audience is going to want to weigh in on this. We're going to ask Josh Jones when he comes, because he's a Gen Zer. We're going to ask him if it's like a favorite mall store, if you could bring back a favorite mall store, like, I don't know, Sam Goody, for example.
Mine would be dumb. It would be GameStop. And it's only because, like, GameStop was like a childhood universal experience.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, like the physical games, because they're all digital now.
I'm wondering, though, like 1980s era, we used to have video arcades. It didn't matter what kind of if it was a big galleria or a shopping mall, you would always have like an arcade. And your parents would go shopping and you'd head off to the arcade with like a roll of quarters. Man, that was a lot of fun back in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could bring back one of your favorite mall stores, what would it be? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic MyPillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS. Or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga. My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code Starnes, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. So the story, by the way, is that a number of Gen Zers are now going back to actual shopping malls, and they prefer shopping in person as opposed to shopping online. And that led us to the question of the day: if you could bring back a store from your childhood, Dylan, stop laughing. What would that store be? Our number, 901-260-5926. Gary in Florida, WOCA. Gary, what's on your mind?
Yeah, well, the store that I would want to come back would, I had 5 kids from 76 to 89, and I was spending a lot of money every time my wife and we went to the mall. There was a store called Gadzooks, and Gaddooks, and it was great clothes for teenagers and kids and young adults. And I was spending so much money there, I decided to invest about 5,000 shares of stock. And that company was taken off. I think they went from 180 stores to over 400.
Oh no!
And the next thing I know, my shares were falling in the stores, and they filed bankruptcy. And there went my investment besides all the money I spent on my kids.
Gadzooks, Gary.
Gadzooks.
Jeez,
I should have been leery of the name, but
yeah.
and like most ventures, another company with a pocket full of cash came in and bought them for nothing. It was called Forever 21. So that was that was the only time I invested in boutique stores at the malls.
Gary, what a great story. Thank you. I hope you learned your lesson there, my friend. Yeah, I remember Gadzooks. I was a nerd. I used to go to Walton Books. Anybody remember Walton Books? That was a great mall store back in the day. I want to go right away to our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line and say hello. I guarantee you this guy went to the mall a time or two. Our chief political strategist, Josh Jones. Josh, first of all, are you surprised that your generation's going back to the shopping malls?
I mean, maybe a little, but honestly, after COVID and everything, I think people were just kind of like over the online, trend of just buying everything and having it shipped to you. So, I mean, I'm not super surprised, but malls have always been up and down. So,
So, like you grew up in a small town. So, was that a big deal when you were a kid going to the mall?
yeah, definitely didn't have a mall in my town growing up. The closest one was in Kingsport, Tennessee. So it's probably like, I don't know, a 30-40 minute drive. So it's not too far. So the reason we would always go to the mall though is that's where the closest, well, maybe not the closest, but one of the better movie theaters were. So that's where we'd always go to the movies at. So naturally you'd go in all the other stores as well.
That makes sense. Are you a big Abercrombie guy by any chance?
I kind of am. I have been with them for a while now in terms of like buying their stuff. I went and shopped there when I was in high school. I still shop there now, frankly.
So help me understand this, because everything smells like that perfume or that cologne or whatever that is. I mean, everything. Does the smell ever go away?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know I mean, I don't remember it as a kid. Maybe it was there. I don't know. But I definitely notice it now. They're totally, I don't know what their method is or what the sin is, but they're 100% pumping it into the AC system.
So help me understand this, because again, when I was growing up, we would actually wear blue jeans that did not have holes in them. And yet your generation, you guys go out there and the holes are already there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, it's a style choice. I don't make that choice. My jeans are just normal jeans. But yeah, I don't get the appeal, but look, I don't claim to have my finger on the pulse of fashion. So
I understand, but you do have your finger on the pulse of politics. And Josh, we have some breaking news to share with you. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it, Dylan.
Breaking news now on the Todd Starnes Show.
Josh, just moments ago in the Senate, on the Senate floor, Senator Chuck Schumer ripped one. Let's take a listen as this story goes viral this afternoon.
And we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump administration...
I hope he didn't have any of that lettuce from Taco Bell that is causing the explosive diarrhea.
No kidding. No kidding.
Dylan, are you okay?
No. I have a terrible childlike mind. Farts are very funny to me.
Well, especially in the
true, very inappropriate timing.
Very inappropriate timing. But hey, when nature calls, fellas, I mean, what are you going to do? Well, it is what it is. Josh, we have been following a lot of crazy political news. The president, by the way, is going to be addressing the nation on Thursday night, and he was just in the Oval teasing it. It's got something to do, we're being led to believe, from what the president's telling us, with election fraud. I'm just wondering, is that still playing with people? And, or do we risk just turning off more voters in the midterms?
Look, we'll wait and see what the president has to talk about. But to your point, we're being led, based on leaks and other things, that it's going to be about election integrity, particularly the Duke of Georgia and the two senators from there. And look, this has been a long litigated issue, both in the public space and in the courts. I don't think we're winning votes here. And that's not to say that the president's claims necessarily aren't legitimate or there's issues to bring up to the public there. But look, we're closing in on the midterms where you have to lock down on your core message of what you're doing for the American people. And that's what you have to deliver on heading into November. Relitigating 2020 over and over again, I just don't think it's picking us up votes.
No, I mean, at this point, I really don't see the whole point of it. I'm more concerned about stories, for example, that a shocking number of Americans are using their credit cards to pay for grocery bills. Those kinds of stories are what I hope are keeping lawmakers up at night, because they have got to get a handle on these prices.
You're right. You're right. Grocery store prices in particular. I mean, the cost of living is always going to be the number one issue, particularly in the modern election cycle. I mean, it has been for a couple of years now. It's still going to be. And to your point, I mean, inflation prices. The report that came out about a record number of Americans putting their groceries on their credit card bills to cover the costs in the meantime. I mean, that's the stuff that's going to resonate with voters heading into November. These culture war issues or hot button political issues where the country's divided. You're not moving people on that and convincing them to vote for you based on that.
Josh, I'm curious your take on South Carolina. Certainly, just a shocking news over the weekend that Senator Lindsey Graham died. They're going to have a very short amount of time to run this primary and then prepare for the general election. How do things look right now? Who are you hearing as possible candidates to replace Lindsey Graham?
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, obviously, the governor is going to appoint the late senator's sister to finish out his term, which I think is a good choice. I think that's what the senator would have wanted. And I think it's good for South Carolina. She's not a divisive figure. She'll finish the term as Lindsey Graham would have. Now, when it comes to fulfilling the seat in the election in November, I think it's going to be a crowded field. Look, you just had a competitive governor's primary where a lot of people did pretty well, didn't get the nomination, but did pretty well. And I think you're going to see a lot of them jump into the race. I mean, Nancy Mace has already teased it. Ralph Norman had some reports coming out about him, about potentially jumping into that. So we'll have to wait and see who all gets involved in that, or if the president, puts his thumb on the scale in terms of who he thinks would be a good fit in the Senate.
Let me ask you about Mitch McConnell. This whole thing is just weird to me. And it just seems to me they're in danger of damaging his legacy the way they're handling whatever this illness is. And it just seems to me, if you're spending, 90 minutes or 2 hours doing phone conversations with friends, why could you not pick up the phone and, call into Fox News Channel and, let people know that you're actually alive and kicking? I don't get that.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. It's a totally fair question to ask. Look, the American people deserve transparency from their elected officials, whether you're the local delegate in your state assembly or if you're a U.S. senator. You're accountable to your constituents. And if you're having health issues, look, we're all human. People have health issues, but you have to be transparent about it. Trying to hide something people can see through a screen very easily. So, look, I don't have the answer. I wish I did. But I think it's right to ask questions.
That being said, I am curious about this. Do you think that maybe, just maybe, we need to have a conversation in this country about age limits when it comes to, for example, Congress? You wonder if these, and there are a good many of very old lawmakers, if they are still of sound mind.
Yeah, you're right. Look, there should be an age limit. There's an age minimum to be in Congress. There should be an age maximum. And to your point, that's not to say everybody that's up there in age isn't of sound mind. But look, the reality is, after 80 years old, it is scientifically proven your brain starts to shrink by up to 20%. So if you're my personal stance, and look, I'm not a legislator, but my stance would be, look, the law should be, if you're 80 years or older, you can't run for re-election. I'm so sorry. Pass on the torch to the next generation. Plus, who wants to be in the halls of Congress at 80 years old? I mean, I could think of a million other things I'd want to be doing.
1,000%. Because that's what gets me, is who would want to do the job? I mean, at some point, you're going to want to retire and go to the beach or, go to the retirement home. Who knows? But
Right. I mean, it is genuinely, not to over dramatize it. It is a matter of national security. These people, particularly on the intel committees and the armed services, I mean, these are serious issues they're dealing with. And if you're 90 years old and can't even think straight, I mean, what are you doing? Why are you in Congress?
It's a terrific question. All right, Josh Jones, we're going to let you get back to shopping. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Good to see you, my friend.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, the great Josh Jones, everybody. I like this idea, though, and Josh is right. You've got an age limit. You have to be of a certain age to run for office. So why not cap that age? I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. May I tell you about reverse mortgages? They did not fail retirees. Bad information did. Years ago, these loans earned a very bad reputation, but regulations have changed and protections have improved. And today, many Americans are using reverse mortgages responsibly as part of a very smart retirement strategy. And that's why Movement Mortgage is offering my listeners a free customized retirement mortgage options plan, so you can see the facts, the numbers, and your real options in black and white. Now, this personalized plan shows how your home, often your largest asset, may actually be used to support retirement income and reduce financial pressure, might even, in some cases, eliminate monthly mortgage payments. I want you to give them a call, 580-REVERSE. That's 580-REVERSE, or go to movement.com/Starnes to book your free consultation today and receive your customized retirement mortgage plan. If you mention my name, they'll also send you a free book, no strings attached, 580-REVERSE, or go to movement.com/Starnes.
You're with Todd Starnes.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder, as soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on...
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
And we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now, on Iran and the NDAA, when all the Trump administration...
Yes, the headline coming from the Republicans, did Senator Schumer break wind there in the U.S. Senate? Hashtag Febreze. I added that last part in there. That's, it's a fair question, of course, with the big explosive diarrhea epidemic that's sweeping across the fruited plain. People are literally being told not to eat any sort of lettuce, anything green or fruity coming out. So no more healthy food.
Not a problem for me.
The Maha movement is screwed. I'm just saying.
I get my burgers plain, so I'm fine.
Oh, well, good for you. There you go.
It's not good for me. I should not get it plain.
I had a salad yesterday.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Well, you know what they say.
Just cut the microphone. By the way, that's a pretty strong microphone.
It is.
Or it was a mighty loud,
sounds like it had a microphone back there.
Well, it could have been a big gust of wind.
This is true.
So let's go to Alabama. Anthony on the line. Hi, Anthony. What's on your mind today?
Hello there, Mr. Starnes. A great mix of comedy and information on your show today.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, I wanted to just comment on the term limits thing, and you were talking about Mitch McConnell, and I don't think it'll ever happen. The system is not going to fix the system. They get in there, and you would think the guy would have been retired by now, but they'll hang on. They're hanger-oners, and they're going to hang on. And the graft is too much to give up. And since we, the people, don't really have, it's supposed to be the government by the people for the people. I don't think it's been that way for years. It's a government by the government for the government. And I'm not really a pessimist or optimist on either one of these. I'm more of a realist. But, seeing's believing. And I don't think these people will ever change much of anything. It's like asking your vehicle to fix itself when it's broken. It's not going to fix itself. You have to fix it. So anyway, that's what I wanted to comment on, that the system is for the system. It's just not going to – I don't know how to change. How do we change this? I always ask this one question. And what does it come to? And we're not there. We're not close. But what does it come to when we have to use the in case of emergency break glass amendment? That's what I call it. But I don't think it's there. But I hope it never comes to that. I have grandkids, But the system, we vote, and what else? We don't have any participation in. They pick their leaders. They have their decorum. They have their tradition. We don't have any say about any of that. They make the rules, and it's the golden rule. Those with the most gold make the rules. They're in charge, and all we can do is vote for them when they come to us with their hat in hand at election time, and that's all we get. And half of them lie their way in. And this thing going on with Warnock and Ossoff. Trump's got a good point, but they're not going to go away. They were cheated in there, and it can be right in your eyes. They can prove they were cheated in there.
Well, let me ask you a question, Anthony. I want to. We're running out of time, right? I want to ask you a quick question. At what age? What age should we say the cutoff is? Is it 65, 70?
Well, I would say Social Security. Which is Social Security when you can draw Social Security? That would be a good time. 65.
All right, 65. All right.
Yeah, 65, yeah.
Look, I don't have a problem with it. It concerns me because these people, like Dianne Feinstein, you really think that she was of sound mind?
Of course not. She was dying in front of where she was sitting up there, and where they sit up there when they were asking questions of people, having their meetings, and she had to have somebody interpret, I think, for her, didn't she?
Well, I will say this. Not everybody's like Donald Trump. And look, there are some people that could live to 100 and they could be of incredibly sound minds. That we've seen that happen before. But overwhelmingly, most people, when they get into their 80s, they're not there. They're not all there. And I'm not sure I want those people making very important life and death decisions for the rest of the country. Anthony, I've got to run. Thank you for the call. 901-260-5926. Do you support age limits for Congress? And if so, what do you think the cutoff ought to be? 901-260-5926. By the way, we've posted the video over on ToddStarnes.com. If you want to see Senator Schumer breaking wind, you can do that at ToddStarnes.com. So we'll go over there in the break. Also, be sure to get yourself a pre-ordered copy of my brand new book. It's called The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. You can get that book at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, wherever you buy your books. All right, hang tight, everybody. Hour 3 of the big show coming up next. Hi, this is Todd Starnes. I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile's been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
The residents of a neighborhood in San Marcos, California, near San Diego, have flown the Stars and Stripes for decades. But the other day, several other residents received warning letters from the Homeowners Association telling them to either remove Old Glory or face a $100 fine. The Ambiance Owners Association governs the neighborhood where homes average about $1 million. The HOA argued the American flag represented a political view and would degrade the neighborhood. Amy told the California Post that she was outraged by the threats, says the American flag is a symbol of freedom. Yet another reason why homeowners should do their homework and make sure they do not buy a home in a neighborhood that is governed by communists. My new book is available to pre-order, The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. You can get a copy today at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Hour 3 of the big show underway. Trust you're doing well wherever you might be today. Write down our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Again, that number, 901-260-5926. This segment of the program brought to you by our friends at Newsmax. Millions of Americans agree with President Trump, and they are switching to Newsmax. watching great shows featuring Greta, Carl Higbee, Rob Schmidt. And if you're tired of big media, start watching Newsmax. It is free to start. Go to NewsmaxPlus.com for immediate access. Get all of President Trump's most important events live. Just imagine watching Mike Huckabee's Israel special or the Melania Trump documentary, Charlie Kirk specials. Once you start Newsmax Plus, you will not stop. So try it for free. Go to NewsmaxPlus.com, then download the app. It is so easy. Make the switch to Newsmax Plus today. Well, as I mentioned yesterday, some pretty major news coming out of Tennessee's 9th Congressional District that has been redistricted in favor of Republicans. And this will be an additional seat, an added seat for the Republicans up on Capitol Hill. Yesterday, President Trump coming in and announcing that he has personally endorsed State Senator Brent Taylor. Senator Taylor is a longtime lawmaker, a very successful businessman here in the Memphis area, and he got the coveted endorsement from the president. Well, let's go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line right now and say hello to Senator Taylor. Senator, I understand you're on the road campaigning, but congratulations. Tell us about the call you got from the president yesterday.
Well, great. Thank you. It's good to be with you again. We're actually between stops, but we wanted to stop and call in and talk with you a little bit. So look, yesterday about 4:30, my phone rings, and I look down, and it's a 202 area code, which I know to be Washington, D.C. So I pick it up, and I said, "This is Brent," and the voice on the other end is somebody who I think you know, and it was said, "This is Margot with the White House. Could you please hold for the president?" And which I've always seen that in movies. I've never experienced it before. And so I said, certainly. And the next voice I hear, Todd, is President Trump, and he says, "Senator, how are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing better now than I was just 30 seconds ago before you called." He said, "Well, I want you to know I have been following your campaign. I appreciate everything you've done to make Memphis safe. Before I got the Memphis Safe Task Force there, you have fought crime. I appreciate that fight. You have fought illegal immigration in the state Senate." He knew of my bills that I had sponsored. And then he followed up and knew of my record of fighting China in the state Senate to prevent China from getting our trade secrets through funding of lawsuits. And so we talked about that. Then I took the opportunity, because I had not had it yet, to thank him for sending the Memphis Safe Task Force, where they've literally cut crime in half. And Todd, he immediately spent the next 6 or 7 minutes just citing the statistics of the reduction in crime in Memphis, New Orleans, and Washington, D.C., in granular detail. It's amazing what the man knew, because he had no idea that was the direction the call was going to go. And he mentioned that Speaker Johnson, who has also endorsed me, was in the Oval Office with him. And I told the president, I said, "Mr. President, I don't know anything about being a congressman, but I know two things. I want to be a congressman, and I want Mike Johnson to be Speaker of the House." And the president let out a belly laugh, and he said, "You will fit in just fine up here in Washington, D.C." So it was quite an event, and I'm so very appreciative of President Trump recognizing my fight in the state Senate and willing to give me an endorsement.
Well, it's been, I mean, look, that's the gold standard right there, and a lot of people have been after that endorsement. This is a 4-person race right now, and of course, last night we held a debate. Senator, I got to tell you, this is an ugly, ugly Republican primary, and you have actually been above the fray. I think, and during yesterday's debate, it was 3-on-1, but you held your own last night.
Well, I appreciate that. When I have a record of fighting against crime and fighting illegal immigration and fighting China, and I've got a record, it's easy to stay above the fray. Look, the other candidates, they have played nice up until that Trump endorsement came out, and then the knives came out. And the White House warned me about that. They said, if you are to get the Trump endorsement, 2 things are going to happen. One, your fundraising will pick up because everybody wants to give to a winner. And then the second thing that will happen is the knives will come out and people will be coming after you. And I told the White House that I'm I've been at this a long time, and I welcome the challenge. And that's exactly what happened. And it happens. This is not my first campaign, and I have always prevailed in these types of races.
So one of the uglier things, and I have to ask you about this, Senator, this story out of Mediaite. There was a lady called in and made some unfounded, I guess, allegations. She never mentioned anyone's name, but Mediaite and some of the other national news organizations insinuated that she was referring to you, allegations involving some sort of a sexual assault or something that may have happened in Oklahoma at a legislative session. Anything you can share with us about that? Do you know this person? Do you know what she was talking about?
I have no idea what she was talking about. I don't even know, Todd, how you even respond to something that's just made up. But I think it's disgusting. It's disgusting to use made up criminal allegations to put me, my family, my wife through that kind of thing. And in fact, within 24 hours, national media organizations had already debunked it.
Yeah, again, and we were able to track down the individual who made the call. That individual has connections, very close connections, to one of your primary opponents.
Well, look, my primary opponents, they're desperate in this race. They want to attack President Trump's pick. President Trump has in his call yesterday, he said, "I want you to help me carry my legislation to put America first. I need your help in D.C." And they are upset that he has endorsed me over their candidacies. And look, some of the candidates, they have tried their best to align themselves with Trump to the point of even wearing Trump costumes to try to get his attention for the endorsement. And now they're desperate. Early voting starts Friday. Election day is in about 2 weeks. And so desperate campaigns now are just attempting to smear me and anybody in my orbit.
Well, it's not right. I don't care who you are, and we've seen this happen. Usually it's the Democrats doing it to the Republicans. It was just a shock to see really a shoddy attempt by Republicans to try to do something like that. They've also accused you, and this is perhaps, I've never heard of this. They've accused you of being a fake redneck. They're saying you're not really a Southern guy. Your accent sounds pretty authentic to me, Senator.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't know even how to respond to being a fake redneck. I can tell you, growing up, I had a Toyota four-wheel drive extra cab with a Warner winch and with AstroTurf in the bed. And so I grew up in the building supply business, toting lumber and toting sheetrock. And so I'm not even sure what a real redneck is, but I probably would have fit that definition.
State Senator Brent Taylor, who just got the endorsement of President Donald J. Trump for the 9th congressional district race. Senator, when you look at the big issues, one of them, of course, is the Save America Act. The other is immigration and illegal immigration. Where do you stand on the illegal immigration issue? Do they all need to go? Do some need to go? Where do you stand?
I believe if you are here illegally, you need to go back. And if you have committed crimes, you don't need to have an opportunity to reapply to come back into our country. Moreover, I will go even further than I believe my primary opponents, and that is that I believe we need to have a pause on legal immigration. We have more foreign-born people in the United States today than we've ever had in our history. And we have done this in the past when, in the early 1900s, when there were a huge influx of Irish and Italian immigrants, the government finally put a moratorium on all immigration to allow those people to assimilate to become Americans. And then once they have assimilated, then we can match our visa program to areas where we need that type of foreign labor. And we have too many people in this country that are not assimilating, and it's destroying our Western civilization. And so we need to send all the illegals back, and we need a pause in our legal immigration because America needs some me time. And during this me time, we can let those that have come here legally fully assimilate into the American culture.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I think that is something that is incredibly necessary until we can get a handle on all of this. You know, the other big issue, H-1B visas, and I know some of your opponents in the Republican primary a little squishy on that particular issue. I know that's really been impacting a lot of folks in not just the nation, but especially in Western Tennessee. Where do you fall on the H-1B visa program?
Well, just what I said, I think we need to have a pause on all immigration and allow the people that are here legally to assimilate into American culture. And once we have done that, and if we find we have labor shortages that we don't have enough Americans to fill those jobs, then we can look at importing labor. But look, everyone wants to come to the United States and have a better life, and I can fully appreciate that. I want them to have a better life, but they need to have a better life in their country. And this is our country, and we get to decide who and when people enter it. And so I'm, like I said, all the illegals need to go back to their home country, and those that are here legally that have applied for citizenship or have become citizens, obviously they get to stay until such time that they can assimilate. But look, when you have entire areas of large American cities that they don't speak English, they don't fly the American flag, they fly the flag of their home country, they have not fully assimilated. I heard Vice President Vance the other day said that somebody came up to him that was here legally and said, y'all, the administration should not cut off this foreign aid because my country needs that aid. And Vice President Vance was like, what do you mean your country? You're an American. This is your country. You should be concerned about our country, not where you came from. That's the issue. That's why America needs some me time.
Yeah. All right. Senator, we're going to leave it there. We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for answering the hard questions. Pretty disgusting what they tried to do with you. It's an ugly smear, but you know what? You're over the target, and I think that's why folks are coming after you. But again, congratulations on the big endorsement from President Trump.
Well, thank you, and just keep in mind, Todd, no one attacks the person that's in the bottom.
Yeah. Senator Taylor, are you prepared? You know what's going to happen here. We've already got the guy from East Tennessee, our good buddy Tim Burchett. You on the western side. I'm not sure Congress is ready for both of you guys in the House of Representatives.
Well, I tell you, Tim and I will work together once we get past this election, and particularly all these people that are attacking me because they're clearly nuttier than a porta potty at a peanut festival.
And that's mighty nutty. Senator Taylor, thank you for joining us today here on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Wow, there you go. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Got to take a quick break. We'll be getting to your calls as well. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Triggering microaggressions from coast to coast. You're listening to Todd Starnes.
Hey, Todd Starnes here. Every day, Americans make choices that shape our country's future, right down to which cell phone provider we support. Now, here's what a lot of people don't realize. Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless provider. They're an activist organization funded by selling top-tier cell phone service, and they've been on the front lines defending our freedom long before it was cool, standing in the gap when others would not. And the best part is they deliver prioritized premium service on all three major U.S. networks. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you help grow a movement that fuels the Christian conservative cause. Every bill you pay helps advance the values of faith, family, and freedom. And switching is easier than ever. Activated minutes. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Take a stand today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd. Call 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today. Why are radical Islamists and radical progressives, groups that could not be more different, working together? The answer will shock you. Dr. Michael Youssef has spent decades studying this from the inside, and in his most urgent book yet, An Unholy Alliance, he tears the mask off a coordinated assault on American freedom and Judeo-Christian civilization. Foreign funding, institutional cowardice, cultural infiltration in our schools, our cities, and even our churches. It is not a conspiracy theory. This is happening right now. An Unholy Alliance gives you the 1,400-year backstory behind today's headlines and a practical action plan to fight back with faith and courage. Dr. Youssef says this is the wake-up call the church needs now. So don't wait. Get your copy of An Unholy Alliance by Dr. Michael Youssef, available wherever books are sold. Again, An Unholy Alliance by Dr. Michael Youssef, available where books are sold.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash. Fantastic. Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Get hurt in a game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back. It is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Let's go to the phones here. Pat in Georgia, listening to us on WDUN. Hi, Pat. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Todd. I was thinking about something that nobody thinks about anymore that was way back.
I'm all ears. What is it, Pat?
You got turtles?
Turtles as in the little critters that have the shells and the soft underbelly?
They were in the mall.
Oh, turtles.
And you got stamps. Yes.
I vaguely recall. Tell me about Turtles. I vaguely recall that store. Tell me about it.
Yes, it was at Lakeshore Mall, and you bought like records or something.
Oh, records.
and you
Yeah, it
got
was a record store. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That was.
And you got
yeah.
stamps.
And you got stamps. Okay, Pat. Well, look.
Exactly.
Pat, so if you could bring back a store, that's what you would bring back.
Oh, I hear you.
Well, Pat, thank you for calling in. I completely forgot about Turtles. Dylan, I know you're a big music guy, and you would have loved growing up in my era because we had so many record stores, the vinyl, the whole 9 yards.
I mean, in the music, my taste in music is that era, 70s and 80s. So.
Oh, Tower. I wonder if they ever had a Tower Records in Memphis, but the one in Sacramento was huge, and it was always packed. Of course, they went belly up, and that was so sad because they really were a wonderful, wonderful record store. They also had Tower Books, which was also excellent. So they did some good work over there. Most of them were on drugs. But, you know.
Well, you have to be.
It kind of goes with the.
Makes the music sound better, apparently.
Apparently so. Let's go to John in Georgia. John, what's on your mind?
How are you doing, Todd?
Good. What's up, John?
I just wanted to comment on, first on the age limit for Congress, I think should be 65. And if we could get term limits, like 2 for the Senate and 4 for Congress, then we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Fair enough.
And then also, you was talking about Schumer possibly breaking wind. Well, as far as I'm concerned, every time he opens his mouth, he sounds like he's breaking wind.
Very, very well said. He could use an Altoid, is what you're saying. John, thank you for that great visual. We appreciate it. We have the video. You know, he didn't miss a step. He just let that sucker rip.
He almost acknowledged it. You can tell. He had a little giggle.
Yeah.
He almost acknowledged
just a smidge. Just a smidge.
He couldn't, though. You can't acknowledge something like that.
No. You see, this is why I can't do politics in D.C. I'd be on the floor. I'd be rushing up with hazmat gear. All right, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. This is the Todd Starnes Show. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are 2 ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Great to have you with us today. Want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line and say hello to our dear friend, the Queen of Talk Radio, Mary Walter. Mary, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. It's it's sort of a hodgepodge of weird stories today, but the one that really caught my attention, and this is just weird, but Gen Zers are now going back to the shopping malls. Of our youth.
Really?
Yes, they're going back.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they're saying some 60% of the purchases made by Gen Z are being made in person as opposed to online now. And that got us into a conversation about what stores do you miss? Would you bring back from your childhood, as, growing up? In Jersey, did you guys do the malls there? Was that a big thing for you guys?
New Jersey had more malls per capita than any other state. We're the mall state. Yeah, we have tons of malls. That's why didn't they even make about a movie about kids hanging out in a mall in New Jersey, Kevin Smith maybe. But yeah, it was a big thing. But see, my parents, because I grew up in a rural area, to get to a mall because of where I grew up, your parents had to drive you. It was easily half an hour away. But if you lived in a more populated area, you had several malls from which to hang out at. So I did not hang out when I was a kid. When I was older in my 20s and I could, or even high school when I could drive and go to the mall, then I started going to the mall. But I'd have to drive half an hour to get there. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
stores, did you guys have Spencer Goods? I love Spencer Goods because it was like forbidden fruit in there.
I
Right?
think
I wasn't supposed to be going in there. My mother would be like, don't go into Spencer. I'm like, okay. Right. And so of course we went into Spencer Goods because we were told not to go in there. So yeah, Spencer was good. Cinnabon. I would bring back the Cinnabon. We don't have a Cinnabon for miles here. There's no such thing here anymore.
Wait,
Gone.
did Spencer's, are they the ones that had the lava lamps?
Yeah, Spencer Gifts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there was, so I was the nerd. So I was like B. Dalton Bookstore or Walden Books.
Yeah, of course
And
you
maybe
were.
the Orange Julius.
I never got I never dug Orange Julius at all. I was not into that. Didn't like that at all. I was not a big food court kind of girl. None of us were. We were not big hang out in the food court kind of people. Maybe because we were a little bit older, because when we were younger, it was really hard to get to the mall. So when I was older and could drive, it wasn't a super big thing in high school just because we never did it because it was so far away. But when I was in college and when I was older and you could go to the mall and go with the girls and go shopping and that kind of thing, then we did it. Then we hung out a little bit more. So I'm a little weird in that sense that I had also didn't have fast food when I was a kid either. We didn't have fast food restaurants either.
Really? So I remember the day they opened the very first McDonald's in our town. It was like a huge thing, and that was like a big deal. Everybody came out, had the big ribbon cutting, and everybody was doing McDonald's back in the day.
Well, I grew up in a village and it was officially a village. And there were like two restaurants, but they were in there was one restaurant, I guess it was a pizzeria, but it was in someone's house. So it was the first floor of the house, like the dining room, the living room, that's where you sat and ate. The front hall, like they would put tables around. That was but we didn't have any kind to get to fast food. We had to again drive like 20 minutes, and we had a Stewart's root beer, which was amazing. Stewart's, they come and they put the thing on the window, so that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And you don't know Stewart's root beer?
No, I'm familiar with Stewart's root beer. But were they like a drive-through or a drive-in?
They were a drive-in restaurant chain, and there was one up the street from me here for the longest time, and it closed recently. But you would go, and they would come out, and they put the food on the tray on the car window, like back in the old days. And my father hated it because we'd always make a mess in the car, and he would get so mad, so he hated taking us there. But they had really good root beer and good hot dogs, and their food was actually pretty good. We had that, and then they built a Geno's in the same parking lot as Stewart's.
I'm not familiar. What is a Geno's?
Geno's was like an early fast food place. It was, hamburgers. You could get salads. That's where we would go in high school because we could go out to lunch. So you could either go to Stewart's or you could go to Geno's. That was it.
So Dylan, turn your mic on because we had a little bit of news. We are in East Memphis, which is where our studios are located, and there's a parcel of land that used to be the Wendy's, but they tore down the Wendy's. And they're building a Sonic drive-through. Just so, Mary, if you ever come to our palatial studios, we could actually drive over in 3 seconds, and we could actually have food delivered to us at our vehicle.
Oh, so they do the same thing. So it's the same thing. They put it on the window and you eat in the car?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's as much fun as an adult when I have to clean the car as it is when I was a kid and didn't have to clean the car.
Dylan, what were you telling Mary?
I said she could get a dirty soda if she wanted to.
Oh, isn't the dirty soda like the Mormon thing, right? Isn't that like the thing now? And they contain like 900 calories?
Yes, but no. It has like ice cream in it. It's like Dr. Pepper with ice cream.
So it's an ice cream soda.
Yeah. But it's called dirty soda.
No, it's called an ice cream soda.
Whatever.
Wow.
We're having a Sonic.
Just because your generation just discovered it doesn't mean that you get to rename it and expect all of history before you to just kowtow to your new language. It's an ice cream soda.
I think we have beef. I don't know.
Black and white. It's a black and white.
Okay. It's very good. That's all that I know. And Sonic sells them. So I think that's what I'm going to get.
I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. It's just the whole mood has changed.
No, it's an ice cream soda. Stop.
By the way, one final note on this. We used to, when I was a kid, we had something called Frost Stop, which I think was very similar to what you're explaining. It was like the logo was like a huge, giant mug of root beer, and you could drive in, and they had these little things, and a waitress would come out and take your order in your car and then go and get you your burgers, and you would do a root beer float. So you would have the ice cream and the root beer in the frosty mug.
Right.
Those were the good old days. Those were the
Same
good
old thing. We did have an ice cream place in town. We had that. Could also go to the pizzeria to eat too at lunch, but we also had an ice cream place in town, the Country Carnival, and when I kid you, it was literally in a dirt and stone parking lot, graveled parking lot, and you just had to stand there because they had like 2 picnic tables, and that was it. We had that.
Fascinating.
We didn't have a lot of options. There were like no ice cream sodas or anything like that.
Mary Walter joining us on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. We're just kind of chilling today. But Mary, there is an interesting story out of the across the big pond. So I was saying the Far East, but it's really Europe. The European.
You got to stop before you hit the Far East, and that's where it is.
Yeah, just slam on the brakes before you get there. The European Broadcasting Union has made an announcement. They are releasing new guidelines for photographing women's athletic coverage, and this applies to photographers as well as videographers. And they are now warning the broadcasters against lingering shots of female athletes' bodies, low camera angles that capture revealing views, and slow motion replays that offer very little technical or storytelling value. They're saying that these broadcasters are sexualizing female athletes. What say you?
Okay, well, first of all, I cannot proceed any further until I know what a woman is. Do they define that? Because if they do not define what a woman is, because if you don't want to be able to see, the sticks and berries, then maybe we should define what a woman is first, if that's what they find offensive. Listen, women's athletic outfits sexualize women in sports. So I mean, does this just the next logical step? I mean, yeah, that's the only reason men watch women's sports
Well,
is sexualized.
Well, keep in mind, if you've ever watched an NFL game, Dylan, I know you're a big sports guy, but when there is not a play, the camera guys are scanning the crowd, and they're not getting images of slobs, right? They're getting images of Sports Illustrated swimsuit models.
This is true. Yeah. Yeah. You got to have something else to watch while you're not watching sports.
Right.
That's why we had cheerleaders.
It's kind of like the only reason, like if I watch football, if I'm forced to watch a football game, I'm just watching for like the tight pants and the cute butts, and or if I have to watch soccer, I'm just looking for the hot guys.
And
everyone's being everyone's being sexualized, whether or not if it's tight pants or if it's
if you're gonna force me to watch a sport that I don't want to watch, well, at least I'm gonna enjoy it somehow.
Except for the WNBA, and I notice they always do the wide camera shots. We don't. There's no big close-ups there in the WNBA.
Well, that Sophie Cunningham's pretty hot. She was a ring girl at the WWE or something like that with Dana White. She was a ring girl. She's pretty hot.
Who is the one? Is she the one that was the pointer?
Yeah, she the pointer.
Yes.
Okay, the pointer. Yeah. Okay, I don't watch the WNBA that much, so and they probably don't do the up close of the Russian shot put women. Those are some sturdy gals.
I think that's where we need the definition of women would come in handy.
That's a fair point. Oh, my goodness. Mary Walter, and by the way, folks, if you are not watching her podcast, you are really missing a lot. She does a great job, and you have really kind of like a potpourri of guests that come through the Mary Walter podcast. Tell us about what you got working. What's cooking?
Well, last week we had 2 producers who produced Newsfront for Newsmax, and also did the most recent special they had was God and America 250. That was also on Newsmax. Jack and Mandy Smith, they joined me last week. This week, it's a guy from an organization called Now Tax USA, and he's also involved in energy issues. So we're going to talk to him. I know it sounds super dry, but we try to make it fun because you guys can ask questions and leave comments and stuff. So it gets pretty late. And I would love to get Todd Starnes on to talk about his latest book, but he's very much in demand. So
No, I'm just waiting for the invite. And so the book is not even out yet. It'll be out
Well,
August
you
11th.
told me you wanted to wait till the book was out, so don't say you haven't been invited because that lying is ugly, Todd.
Jeez, Lou. This conversation started bad and it's ending bad.
Should we add a
It
therapist to
started
this
out
call?
just fine.
Mary Walter Radio. Mary, where can people find you?
So just follow me on X at Mary Walter Radio. I will be on Newsmax with you later at 5:30 with K. Smith Hill. Love that. And I also am on various radio shows throughout the week, filling in, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. It's going to be the title of my book when I retire. And so just follow me on X at Mary Walter Radio. No S, because there's only one of me, Mary Walter. And I always post my schedules there, so you can find me there.
Oh, you know what we got to do before we let Mary go?
What?
Mary, we got to play. This is Senator Chuck Schumer. This just happened on the floor of the Senate. Can we play that again?
And we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now on Iran and the NDAA, when all the Trump administration...
A little breaking of wind there, Mary.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought that was you harumphing.
No, that was passing gas.
Was that him?
That was him.
Okay, I can't see it because I don't see anything from you. Like your picture's gone, so I don't see it. So, like, did he move? Did he it was that loud that it was caught by the speaker, like the microphone up here when it was?
Yeah, whatever that mic he was using caught every single bit of that. And so people are speculating whether if it was just a fart or if it was a little bit more than that. It was that loud.
Well, he's at that age where you kind of wonder if there's a surprise in it. So it's no longer just Eric Fartwell. It's no longer just him.
No, it's not. Unless he
I kind of feel for the guy. I kind of feel for the guy because we've all tried to sneak one out. All right. We've all tried to do it somewhere along the line. It's just that most of us know not to do it in front of a microphone because you never know if you're going to be surprised.
Oh, good Lord. It's this is terrible. Mary Walter.
It's true.
It is true. I mean, it's fair enough.
You should know better than to ask my opinion on something like this. That's just your own fault. This is your own fault, Todd.
It is true. It's true. Mary, always a pleasure to have you on the show. We'll see you later tonight on Newsmax.
Okay, I'll see you later. Thank
right.
you. And Dylan, it's an ice cream soda. Goodbye.
Oh, wow. She got the last word in.
Dang it.
901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Sane talk in an insane world. Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and you know what's sad? How many people spend the entire summer trying to hide, wearing black in 95-degree weather, avoiding the pool, dodging pictures, trying to suck it in everywhere they go. And listen, that's not vanity. That's just not feeling comfortable in your own body anymore. Look, I've been there myself, and that's one reason Calitrin made such a difference for me, because it wasn't some extreme plan that I couldn't stick to. It was simple, taken at night, and it finally helped my body start working with me instead of against me, and I've lost a lot of weight.
That's why so many people stay on Calitrin, Todd. They're sleeping better, they have more energy, their cravings calm down, and their weight loss finally starts feeling doable. I've lost over 40 pounds myself with Calitrin, and honestly, summer feels completely different when you can actually feel good again.
Don't spend another summer hiding. Right now, during the Don't Hide This Summer event, get $40 off the proven 90-day supply at toploss.com or call 800-325-4366.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Oh, boy. Did you guys hear about Zoran Mamdani? He disappeared the Italians, Irish, and the Jews. How do you do that? This guy, it's insane. So they put out this big map highlighting, and this is all because of the FIFA World Cup. Dylan, when does all of this end?
Pretty soon, actually. I think before the end of July.
It's like longer than the NBA playoffs.
Yes, it is.
It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah. It only happens every 4 years, so it has to drag it out.
Man, it's like, and we got the German guy still driving around, Freddie.
He does, yeah.
Has that gotten old?
Yeah, it has. He had his moment, and now it's past.
Yeah. All right, it's time for you to go home, Freddie. Donkey shirt or whatever. Anyway, so Mamdani put out this map for the World Cup, and they list all of the all of the different ethnic communities, I guess, in New York City, and they left off Little Italy, and they kept in Chinatown, but they put in they left out Little Italy, also in the Bronx, which has a massive Italian population, and Dylan. Then they left off the Irish. And they left off the Greeks. Are you following a trend here?
Yes, I think so.
Any of the European nations were erased. Meanwhile, they were promoting neighborhoods like Little Africa, Little Somalia, there was another Little Palestine. I had no idea there was such a neighborhood.
Me either. I love Little Italy. Little Italy is like the best thing ever in New York.
So people are going nuts over this, and of course, all of the Italians are just up in arms. The mayor blamed the previous administration and says that he will actually redo the immigrant neighborhood map. So they had little Pakistan and little Yemen, but no Little Italy. which is actually a very large neighborhood. You know, it's interesting. Not many Italians actually live in Little Italy anymore. Nobody can afford it, but they still got the nice restaurants. What are you going to do? New Yorkers, very upset about all of this. Many are saying that it is just a slap. Oh, they had little Bangladesh.
What is this, Disney World?
Why doesn't the mayor just come out and say, all you white people don't matter anymore? So if you came from Europe, anywhere over, you are not welcome. And of course, the Jews are not welcome at all because there were no Jewish neighborhoods listed. And by the way, Williamsburg, which is like this, it was back in the day, it was a hot hipster enclave back when hipster was a word. It was a hot hipster enclave. But what was so funny about that neighborhood, it was also home to a massive Orthodox Jewish population. And it was quite the scene. You know, you go over there and it's just, it's almost like you're in a different country. So anyway, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So our condolences to the Irish and the Italians and the Jews. Good luck to you there, getting back up on the map. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America, my new book. You can pre-order a copy right now. It'll be in stores on August 11th, but we need you to pre-order a copy now. You can do that by going to Amazon, wherever you get your books online. All right, been a lot of fun today. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow, noon o'clock. In the meantime, head over to ToddStarns.com. Be sure to download our podcast. You guys be good, America.